Hello everyone! In this video, I'll show you how I play AP Malphite in mid lane, one-shotting everything like here, and here, and here. And you can do all this too, so make sure to watch this whole video through. But before we begin, many of you who are watching my videos are still not subscribed to my channel. It would mean a lot to me if you would hit that subscribe button, as it would support me a ton. Anyway, let's get back to it. When playing AP Malphite, you have two main rune pages that you can go with, depending on your matchup. There's the Arcane Comet build, and there's the Electrocute build. This build really depends on your playstyle, where Arcane Comet is a bit more safe and pokey, while Electrocute is more about trading with the proc and out again. Both rune pages has the same role mid-late game, which we'll come back to later. If you're new and not familiar with Malphite and his matchups, I'd recommend Arcane Comet until you get a bit more comfortable. I also would personally recommend Electrocute, as it suits better for AP Malphite's purposes. Let's quickly go over Malphite's abilities. Malphite's passive, Granite Shield, grants a shield equal to 10% of his max health. If you haven't been hit for a while, it recharges. This skill is only really useful for laning phase and gets more value from his W, which I will come to in a second. Our Q, Seismic Shard, is our main poke. It's a point and click ability that deals a lot of damage and steals movement speed from your enemy. This ability is great for sticking or retreating. Our W, Thunderclap, empowers Malphite's auto attacks, making his auto attacks a cleave attack, damaging everything in a frontal cone. Also, this ability acts as an auto attack reset, so you can auto attack, W empowered auto attack, and normal auto attack, making you being able to auto attack 3 times in 2 auto attacks time. This is especially useful for lasting the other turret. Malphite's E, Ground Slam, slams the ground, dealing AoE damage around him and reduces the auto attack speed on whoever he hits with it. This is great for trading against melee matchups and especially if you're running with Electrocute. And finally, Malphite's R, Unstoppable Force, our bread and butter. It's a skill shot where you charge to a location, knocking everything up where we land and dealing massive damage. While they're knocked up in the air, you can spam all your abilities dealing massive damage, and that should really end up in a kill. So let's get to how we play Malphite. In early game, during laning phase, we're pretty weak. So basically I can sum laning phase up to these goals. The first goal is to get level 6 ASAP without dying. Second is to farm as much as possible. Last, don't die. You don't want to be behind when you get to 6, as you will most likely not be able to one combo them. It's better that you back an extra time losing a wave than giving an even bigger level and gold advantage to the enemy. When your jungler comes to gank your lane, you need just to put a Q on the enemy to more or less secure a flash or a kill. At level 6, we have reached our power spike and we can now start farming champions, like literally. We have 3 missions here at this stage. First, poke them down until you have lethal. This means you have to poke them down to a point where you can ult, Q, E and W that will kill them. This is usually around 60% HP. Second, die as little as possible still, and for the love of God, don't try to make plays without your ult. You're basically an empowered cannon minion without your ult-ish. Last, snowball and keep snowballing. In mid game, you can kinda decide what you want to do. Do you want to completely make the enemy mid lane useless, or do you want to make one of your side lane useless? If you choose to gank bot, they will be lower level compared to you, and most of the time you will be able to literally one combo them at full HP. From mid to late game, your role, as I said I will come back to earlier, you're basically an assassin and a negator. You want to focus your ult on as many as possible, but also make sure that you hit 1 or 2 carries. 2 to 3 getting hit by ult is good enough really, as long as it results in 2 dying instantly. Alternatively, you can make this game a permanent 5v4 against the enemy by killing anyone from the enemy team whenever your ult is off cooldown, which will give you prior for objective or neutral objectives. If you choose to stick with your team, don't worry about your score. You will most likely die if you don't have Sonya. A lot. But as long as your sacrifices results in your team winning a team fight, it's worth it. So let's go over the core items. Our mythic items is either Luden's Echo or Hextech Rocket build. Either works, but where Luden's Echo has a more nasty poke, it gives more CD reduction and mana, which generally makes the laning phase kinda easier due to lack of mana. Hextech excels in more tankiness and mobility, making it easier to snipe people and doing the engages. Pick the one you're most comfortable with, and Luden's Echo is probably the easier of those choices. Next item on the list is Lichbane. Lichbane just synergizes so well in a way that you get more burst, and since your auto attack hits harder after using ability, aka ult, wink wink, it's just a natural core item. We naturally go Sword Shoes as well as Assassin Malphite. From now on, you can mix it up after matchup and situation. My personal general take is Deathcap, which is just a big damage boost overall. It's quite expensive, so if you go this third item, you better be ahead. Else go for the next item, which is Sonya Hourglass. It gives us cooldown reduction, more damage, also with the increased armor as our W and E scales with armor 2. And lastly, it gives us more survivability after ulting. Last item is whatever you feel like. I personally go after Voice Staff, as opponents probably have some form of magic resist at this point. There are times where I max out Magi's if I snowball, and I usually leave out Deathcap then, but mix up depending on your situation and matchup. And this was it for my video. If this video was helpful in any way, let me know in the comments below, and I would love to hear about your best game with Malphite. Else hit that like and subscribe button, as it would support me a ton for a simple click. I hope this video helped, and let me know what champ I should cover next. Until next time, see ya!